Well, Spain is done, and here we are, and it's another time for Freddie Bz Pathetic Picks. It is Wednesday, June 16th, a little late, but here we go with my preview of Austria and my review of Spain. Spain was an interesting race, great win for Max. He took a car that, by all intents and purposes, was the second fastest car. Lando Norris said he had the fastest car and he should have won the race. Perhaps he should have, but that shows where racecraft comes into play. You got to learn how to go fast, you got to learn how to race, and you got to learn how to win. And Max, with 61 wins to Lando's 1, probably has a little bit more racecraft in that car, or in that ability right now. But Lando is definitely coming up, I think. What an incredible race. Very good strategy on both parts of the team, and what a great race for Mercedes-Benz, coming in back from the dead to capture a podium, like Alpine came back from the dead to actually capture points in their second race in a row. Some interesting things happening in Spain. A couple of the interesting things that I noticed was Carlos Sainz probably was going to announce he was going to go to Williams. However, Flavio Viatori, the notorious Viatori of FIA worldwide expulsion fame in 2008 for Racegate, which allowed Fernando Alonso to win the World Championship for Renault. He was banned by the FIA, but he won his reprieve in a lawsuit a year later, comes back to Alpine as an advisor a la Helmut Marko, and I think the first thing he did was whisper into Carlos Sainz's ear, "Don't go anywhere yet. Give us a chance to show you what we can do." So I think Carlos, in a weekend where he was about ready to sign on the dotted with Williams, ends up not signing because old Flavio Viatori has got something to say. Not unlike Adrian Newey, who everybody thought was a shoo-in for Ferrari, and who I speculated might go to IndyCar, until I realized, I guess, in his contract he doesn't have to go on gardening leave, as the comments told me. Sorry. He also has been offered and was seen at the Aston Martin brand new facility, and instead of taking a right, he takes a left out of his driveway and goes to a new job there. Who knows? Reportedly, he wanted £50 million, and the offer is somewhere around 20 million. So we'll see what happens. It could be Europe. Not sure. Probably Europe. Anyway, so Newey, Sainz. Lots of dominoes to fall. Okay, Carlos probably wants to tell the world where he's going, but he doesn't know yet either. I don't think it's so much the money. The money's going to be there for both those guys. I think it's the opportunity to go out and win races are going to be the same. So, in review, Spain was a kind of a dud for Ferrari. It was great for Mercedes. Good for Alpine. Bad for Aston Martin. They didn't score any points. Okay? Ferrari needs to work on their setup a little bit more. And a lot of cars are showing, unlike the Red Bull, which seems to be good everywhere, but again, maybe not, because if you watch Checo, now, he did well. He got to Q3. He had to take a 3-grid place penalty for his shenanigans that he was forced to do in Canada, but he came back up to 8th. He actually raced his way back to where he started, which is pretty good. Most everybody else just drove around, or used the pits or strategy. And interestingly enough, Perez was the only one on a 3-pit strategy, and it worked out well for him to get that 8th place. So, other rumors going on this week are Logan Sargent going to IndyCar. Heard that. I think that's a very big possibility. Wouldn't be surprised if Chip Ganassi doesn't gobble him up, or Andretti, one of the big teams. But he's only 23 years old. Everybody, he's in his second one in Formula One. He went to the worst team in Formula One. There really couldn't have been a whole lot expected of him. I'm going to say he exceeded expectations. Kind of like when Michael went to F1 and everybody thought he would be a world champion right away. A lot of this has to do with the car and the team around you. And Michael didn't have the team around him, And I think the problem with F1 and why they don't want him back is when Michael got back to kart or IndyCar or whatever it was, whatever that entity was at that time, he blamed everybody in Formula One for how crappy they were. And he took none of the blame himself. And I think that it left an indelible mark on some of the Formula One people. And that's why he's having such a hard time getting in to Formula One with his own team. But I digress. Anyway, let's go to drivers whose jobs might be on the line still. Daniel Ricciardo, okay, he's still up in the air, doesn't know where he's going. Zhou Guanyu, rumor has it that he's got a lot of backers and a lot of money, and they've gone to several teams and say, hey, here's a pile of money for a driver, kind of like a paid drive, kind of like, Latifi, kind of like, I don't know, Lance Stroll. Those are paid rides, if you will, okay, although, most people just pay to have their kid on the team. Lawrence Stroll bought the whole team for the kid. Not too bad. And then we have, Logan Sargent to IndyCar. Magnussen says he's waiting for where Sainz goes. He thinks he's still a viable candidate. I think he's gone. Nothing against you, Kevin. I just think you're out of here. Sergio may get booted out of that 2-year contract. This Red Bull will say, screw it, we'll just pay you. And they got the money to do it, so then maybe they'll do that. But Ocon, maybe the Haas, who knows, to partner up with Ollie Berman. I don't see that's a good partnership because I don't think Ocon has the ability to train or to teach a young comer the ropes. Somebody like a Bottas would have. So Bottas might be a better fit for Haas there when you're bringing in a young driver. A guy with 10 Formula One wins on a great team who's a damn good driver and then would have some motivation for bringing up the kid, if you will, and Ollie Berman. Pretty good at Haas thinking about that. Williams and Sauber still at the bottom. Both you have Alex Albon with his contract in place. Is Sainz going to take that job at Williams? Who knows? Who's ahead of the game? Is it going to be Sauber or Williams in terms of development? That's probably what Sainz is looking for. The mid-pack is Aston Martin, it's V-Carb Red Bull, it's Haas, and maybe Alpine now. So Alpine has moved out of the bottom and moved up to the mid-pack. The bottom is now Williams and Sauber. Then you have those 4 teams I mentioned. And then a tie for third would be Ferrari, Mercedes-Benz. McLaren definitely second place in terms of development. Red Bull still first. Depending on the track, McLaren might be a little bit faster. Really going to come down to the drivers. Now, it's really going to be a tight race. And it's going to be a great... If you haven't enjoyed the season so far, you're going to be enjoying the season now. Now we come up to Austria. Now Austria is at the Red Bull Ring. It's 4.38 or 4.318 kilometers, which is a little over 3 miles. It's a 10-turn race course, mostly right-hand turns, but it's got some nice twisty bits right there in the middle. Great racetrack, very fast, 3 DRS zones. So super important if you can be within that crucial 1 second of the driver in front of you, so you can take advantage of DRS. And the neat thing is one of the DRS detection zones is virtually right after the DRS detection zone for the other one. So you go from one to the other, and so it's almost like being able to keep that back flap open completely. However, if you make the pass, then expect the guy to come right back around you because he may get DRS if you pass it before the next zone. So it's going to be a really fun 71 laps to watch. My predictions are going to be Max is going to win this race, but it's going to be a close one. Okay, McLaren, like Imola, is very fast. This is a fast racetrack. I think Lando will be right on his heels, and I'm hoping for a Ferrari comeback, but I think maybe Carlos Sainz redeems himself from what happened at his own track, doesn't have the distractions that a lot of people think he may have had over the last weekend. He can concentrate on driving and get going. So there you have it, Freddie Bz Pathetic Picks. Look forward to seeing you later. Ta-ta. For now, do me a favor, by the way. Hit that subscribe button. You know what? I went from 10 to 26. You know, if I got another 26 and we did that several times and we could double it every week, who knows? Pretty soon, maybe more people than just my mom would be watching this. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Ta-ta for now.